Good morning, everybody. This is the first big breakfast of the new year, so we got to get it started here. Get the cooking done early this morning. Well, it's not early, actually. It's already 9:40 where I'm at, but we don't like to do breakfast too early. Tony don't like to eat real early. So, first thing we're going to start with is a pound of Jimmy Dean hot sausage. And I just took it out of the refrigerator. It's easier to cut when it is cold because I cut right through the paper and everything. I don't peel the paper off and do all that mess. And y'all, I don't know, I know y'all know, but your kids watching this might not know, but there are little red tick marks all the way down through here. It tells you where to cut your sausage. And my friend's son was watching this. And he said, Mom, did you know that those little marks was on the sausage patty thing, wrapper? She's like, yeah. So we all know that, but you know, some of the younger generation, they might not know that. So I cut right through the paper. I have this big bread knife from Pampered Chef. And it cuts right through all of it. We are going to make some hot sausage this morning. And then I'm going to make some hot sausage gravy to go with it. And some homemade biscuits. It's going to be good. We haven't had biscuits and gravy. I don't know if we had them the whole month of December. I haven't had much of an appetite, but my appetite's coming back, y'all. So anyhow, let's get this sausage over here. I know y'all that have followed me for a while know how I cook sausage and hamburger. I fry it in some water. That way it gets good and done, steamed up. The insides get good and done. And it keeps your sausage or your hamburger patty very moist while it's getting the inside done. Sometimes people cook it till it gets done and the outside is kind of crispy and burnt up, and I don't like it like that. I like mine to be moist and juicy, but done. We got to have all our meat on the done side. Now what I'm using to fry in this morning is a big 12-inch skillet from Pampered Chef, and it's become my new favorite because it's so big. You can fit a lot of food up in this. And the other pan, like a 10-inch pan, you don't have room to flatten out your sausages. Alright, I'm just going to wipe my hands off here. Then I'm going to go wash them here in a second. But I'm just going to move this pan over here. I'm going to go ahead and just pour some water. And I just kind of cover the bottom of the pan. It don't matter how much you put, it's just going to evaporate out anyways. So let's get this over here and get this started. I like to cook it on one side and then flip it while it's still kind of raw in the middle. You got to flip them then and squish them because I like a thin patty. Some of y'all might like a thick patty, then you wouldn't want to squish them, but I like to squish mine. Alright, let me throw that away and get this stuff off the counter. Wash my hands up. Alright, you got to keep that hand washing going on all the time. Next, we are going to make some buttermilk biscuits, and y'all know me. I use this powdered buttermilk. It comes in a can in the bacon aisle in the grocery store. I'm going to make about a cup of it. Let's see. I got my biscuit mix here. I use this Southern biscuit mix. And I think we're going to need about a cup. I'm not going to make 24 biscuits, because that's too many for me and Papa. We're just going to make a few this morning. So I'm just going to make a little bit of, you can add water to this. I think it's about 4 tablespoons and 1 cup of water. So I'm probably going to put about 3 tablespoons in there. And I'm just not measuring it, you know, precisely or anything. That's probably good right there. And now we can add water to this, or we can add milk to it. It doesn't matter. If you want your, who is Papa? Papa's Big Daddy Tony. That's my husband. If you're new to following my page, I call him all kind of names, y'all. But his name is Tony. And sometimes we call him Papa. But I ain't got no other papas around here, y'all. All right. I'm going to pour a little bit of milk into this because I got some I need to use up, and it'll just make it a little bit thicker. But Tony's who I'm talking about. Hang on just a minute. Let me grab some milk. I'm going to try to use this milk up because it goes bad on January 7th. So I'm just going to put probably about 3/4 of a cup there. Now our sausage is starting to cook over here. And you just stir this up. And it kind of makes a little buttermilk. I don't know what it tastes like because I don't drink buttermilk. But it's kind of got a yellow tint to it. Sort of like buttermilk. It'll give it a little bit of twang. So I make this up. Yeah, sometimes I call Tony Frank. We have a thing in this family that if we don't know your name and you're a man, we call you Frank. We're like, what is that Frank doing? Instead of what's that man doing? We just say, what's that Frank doing? And if we don't know your name, we'll call you Janice if you're a girl. So half the time, Trevor, Brooke, all of them, they call me Janice all the time. And they call Tony Frank. So we like to confuse people. This morning we are going to make sausage. We are making homemade biscuits. We are going to make some gravy to put on them biscuits. We haven't had a big breakfast like this in quite a while. Alright, there's my buttermilk sort of made up there. So let's get over here and see what the sausage is doing. I'm going to bring y'all over here. I'm in no hurry this morning, so if you think I'm moving too slow, I'm on a slow roll. So that's all right. I am in no hurry. We have got all day to eat. I got all day to cook and just mess around. All right, this is steaming up. You can see they're starting to cook. And I can go ahead and flip them because I want them while they're still good and raw in the middle so they will spread. And you'll see when I spread them, they get real thin. So you got to flip them before they get done, because you want them to be able to spread out. I like thin patties, like I told you at the beginning. If you're just jumping on, I fry my sausage in water to keep it moist while it's getting done. And y'all will see. Can you see how they're spreading out? Let's see if I can get this on here. Let me see if I can do this left-handed. Turn that over and flat it out. I like a thin sausage patty, especially if I'm going to eat it on like a biscuit sandwich. I don't want a big old fat piece of sausage. But now some of y'all, if you like fat sausage, you can make it fat. You don't have to squish them down. I like to squish mine down. I'm a flipper. I like to flip them and squish them. So there you have that. Let me put this camera back down so I can finish flattening this last one out here. Get them all nice and squished down. I got my stove on high. That's because I want it to steam out all that water, all that freshness. Now this is Jimmy Dean sausage. It's not going to have a whole lot of grease in it. So when we get done, I got bacon grease from yesterday. We're going to put bacon grease in it to help make our gravy. I got my oven preheating. So we're going to let them sausages cook, and we're going to start mixing up the biscuit dough. Now to make biscuits, you can use self-rising flour. And you can use little, you can put some lard or you can put some shortening in it. You can cut that up with a fork and have little shortening flakes. Any way you want to do it. You got to have, for a biscuit, I like to have some type of flour shortening and milk or buttermilk. So I use this Formula L. It's called Formula L right here. Complete biscuit mix. And this biscuit mix has little tiny shavings of shortening already mixed in with it. Little flakes of buttery shortening. That way I don't have to add any shortening to this. Alright, so let me get a measuring cup so I know about how much I'm going to make. I think I'm just going to put about 2 cups of biscuit mix in there, and that will make plenty for us. Like I said, I never know if somebody's going to show up. Sometimes I'll text Trevor and tell him I'm cooking breakfast, but they had a late night last night at the ball game. So I don't think they'll be out of bed anytime soon. But they might come over later. I'll have to see. Alright, I'm going to start with just about 2 cups of that biscuit mix. And like I said, if you see, you can, sometimes you can find the little chips already in here. It does make it real easy. It makes for a good biscuit. We got our oven preheating to 450. So anyhow, this is the best biscuit mix that I've ever had. And it's made by Southern Biscuit. Now they also make flour, so pay attention in the store that you're getting complete biscuit mix. Alright, let me look at this thing. My water's about going out. It's starting to sizzle. So let me just show you that. Once this water goes out of the sausage, it's going to be getting browned up on both sides. So we will have some browned up sausage. In fact, it's already doing it. Most of the water is gone. It's moist. It's done in the middle. It's a thin patty. This is just how I like it. And now it's browning up. And all that goodness is getting in there. Let me show y'all that, how it's, most of the water's gone now. It's browning up. I still got it on high. I can go ahead and turn this down a little bit. We're not going to need it on high right now. Alright, some people say they're in Texas and they have a Pioneer biscuit mix. Probably different brands make biscuit mix. Now, I don't know of any biscuit mix that has the little shavings already in it. I'm not sure about that. So I'm going to flip these one more time. They are browning up. I don't want to burn them, but I want them good and brown. Well, the ones in the middle, they're getting a little bit black on them. So let me tin with these for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and cut them down and get me a plate to put these on. I'm going to get me a plate out here. These ones that's getting good and done, I'm going to go ahead and lay them on a paper towel. This one's good and done here. And then we'll move on to the biscuits. I don't want to leave these over here because I turn my back and I start talking and they are real done. So alright, I think these are pretty much done. Just how I like them. Thin, done in the middle, moist. Alright, let me just turn this eye off because we're going to use this same pan here to cook our gravy in. We don't have very much grease. Jimmy Dean sausage does not have very much grease. Look at that. There ain't even a teaspoon of grease in that whole pack. So I'm going to set that off. We're going to add some bacon grease to that in a minute. And we're going to make us some gravy. If you've never heard of this biscuit mix, try looking for it. Southern Biscuit Formula L biscuit mix. And I don't know what the Formula L means. And all you're supposed to do is add buttermilk to this. Alright, so I got about 2 cups of biscuit mix in my thing here. And I wish I could show y'all them little yellow flakes. I don't see any right off the bat. But they're in there. Alright, I'm gonna get me a spurtle over here to mix this up with. So we're gonna start with maybe about a half a cup to get the biscuit mix at the right consistency. We don't want it too wet and we don't want it too dry. So add a little bit of the buttermilk at a time. Now you can see this is way too dry. Way too dry. That's way too dry. So let's put a little bit more in here. And that'll probably take that whole thing there. And if I need more, I'll just pour a little bit of milk in. So we already got the buttermilk flavoring from our little buttermilk. Alright, it's going to take all that. And probably then some. Alright. See how this is mixing up here. Just a little bit dry. Just a little, just a hair dry. If you don't have bacon grease to add to your thing, you just need some type of shortening. You can use just, I just use Crisco, the hard kind. I guess if push come to shove, you could use the liquid kind. I haven't done that. I usually use the hard stuff. Alright, so here's our biscuit mix now. Mixed up. And you can kind of see it now that I've added the milk. You can see little flakes of yellow. Can y'all see that on the camera? Little flakes of yellow in there. That's just little pieces of, it's like some type of shortening or butter. You can probably make your own. You can just take flour, take you a stick of butter, and grate it right into your flour. I've done that before, and it works fine too. Alright, now we're just going to sprinkle a little bit of this. I'm going to use the same biscuit mix and just sprinkle a little bit of it right here. And dump this out. I don't use a rolling pin or nothing. With these biscuits, you can just flat them right out here, pat them down, and you're good to go. Now this is kind of sticky right now, so I'm going to have to put some flour on my hands. Ooh, that oven in here, I'm glad I put on a short sleeve shirt because that oven over there is getting hot up in here. Let's see, where can you buy the frying pan that I'm using? It's from Pampered Chef. It's called their Signature Series. And it has a removable handle if you want to stack them when you store them. So that's nice. Sometimes I take my handles off, sometimes I leave them on. But they can come off if you want to. You know how when you put a frying pan down in the sink and the handle's sticking up and you can't get the thing? I pop it off and put it right down in my sink so I can clean it. I love that part about it too. Alright, so now back to the biscuits. I'm putting this on my hands. If you want some layers in your biscuits, flat it out like this and then fold it over. Flat it out again and fold it over. Flat it out and you can fold it over 4 or 5 times. That will give your biscuits some layers. Alright, let me get my biscuit cutter. And I'm going to put, I'm going to get my pan over here. Actually, I just grabbed some bacon grease, y'all, right here in my hand. And I'm going to put the bacon grease even on here. If y'all know how much Crisco costs right now at the store, I don't know what's going on with Crisco, but it has shot up. Crisco used to be, I think, $3 or $4 for a big old can. It's about $8, $10 now for a can of Crisco. So I'm going to use this bacon grease, smear on the bottom of this pan here, and this is what I'm going to put my biscuits on. And that'll give that little bit of flavor on the bottom of these biscuits. Keep them from sticking. And that's going to be that. Okay, now we're just going to flatten this out. Ever how thick you want your biscuits. The thicker they are, the longer they're going to take to cook. So I'm just going to flatten them out like this, about like that, I guess. And I'm just going to punch down some. Now they always say go straight down, don't twist, don't turn. I just do whatever. And then I'm just going to set them over here on this pan. I'm going to make a circle around this pan. Like I said, I'm not trying to make a whole bunch of biscuits. But even just 2 cups of flour will make you a good amount of biscuits. So it's a good deal when you make your own biscuits. And really, you can make them in a matter of about 5 minutes. Me talking takes longer. Oh, somebody said it's $20 for the big can of Crisco. Yeah, that's why if you're going to cook some bacon, you better save that bacon grease. Because that's just getting ridiculous for a can of Crisco. Okay, I'm going to get 2 more out of it right here. Come around through here with it. I'm going to use every bit of this dough up. This might make just 2 more. I usually have what we call the last biscuit, what we usually call the ugly biscuit. It's just, you know, whatever shape is left, it's the ugly biscuit. So what I usually do is just push this down into the bottom of this and flat it down. And that gives me my final biscuit, and it's in a pretty good little shape. So there you have it. We got the final biscuit. It's not even an ugly biscuit today. So that made 3, 6, 9. That made 10 biscuits. So that's good for us. I only eat 1. Big Daddy, he'll probably eat who knows how many. Depends on how hungry it is. How long can you save your bacon grease? You can save it as long as you want. I keep mine in the refrigerator just because it's out of sight, out of mind. I don't have one more thing sitting on my counter. I have more room in my fridge, so I'll just stick it in there. So, let me wash this off my hands real quick. Now you can take and melt some butter. I like to melt butter, and when they come out, I butter the tops of them. Yeah, you can use turkey sausage the same way. So, here we go. We got our 10 biscuits on our little tray here. You can bake them on anything. They don't bake up any better on this. I just happen to have this. Alright, I'm going to stick them in at 450. And I'm putting them on the middle, the center rack, alright? And I'm going to put a timer on for about 6 minutes because it's not going to take very long. But I want to see what they're doing in about 6 minutes. Yeah, you don't want to order biscuit mix or anything like that. I would suggest going to Walmart.com. Our Walmart sells that biscuit mix, and when you order stuff from Walmart.com, a lot of times you have the option of having it sent to your house, and it doesn't cost you any extra. So I would suggest trying that. It might work. That's what I would do. You can't order like flour and stuff like that from Amazon. It's just way too much money unless you don't have to pay for the shipping. But a lot of times, even if you're a Prime member, they're trying to get you for shipping and stuff. So I would try the Walmart.com, because sometimes if your store don't carry it, Walmart.com does. And like I said, you can choose the item to be shipped rather than pick up in the store, and it doesn't cost you anything. Or that's how mine works. Alright, I'm going to put all this tools over here. Get some water running in. Get this cleaned up, and then we're going to start on our gravy, y'all. We got our sausage done. It's not hard to make a big breakfast. I'm talking and everything, and I'm gonna wipe all this flour off here. I like to keep all my area clean. I was just thinking, I'm off today. It's the last day. Got to go back to the grind tomorrow. So I've had a good break here, but I cleaned out one of my cabinets yesterday, my one with all my plastic bowls. You know how you accumulate all them bowls and you got lids and they don't match? And so I cleaned that out last night because they were falling out of the cabinet back behind me. So I got that done. I was thinking about cleaning out a little bit more around here. I haven't put my Christmas up yet, so I can't do a whole lot of cleaning until I get all this Christmas up, but I'm going to leave it up. Maybe through January. We kind of like it. I always say I'm going to leave it up, and then about the middle of January, I start taking it down. I work for the federal government in an office, and that's about all they like us to say. So I don't get on social media and talk about my job. So I do not sell Pampered Chef. I'm not a consultant. I have a consultant. Her name is Linda Weichel. She's on here a lot. And I'll go ahead and post her link in the comments at the bottom. The January specials are out. I know the air fryer is on special this month. The mandolin chopper, which it slices, dices, makes french fries. It does everything. It's on sale again. It was on sale last summer. So let me just post this link. I'm going to pin it to the bottom of my thing. But that will take you over to Linda Weichel, and she is the consultant. I do not sell Pampered Chef. I do not make money off of Pampered Chef. So, if you want something, you can follow that link. I do not have time to sell Pampered Chef. I talk about it because y'all ask me, where do I get everything? Almost everything in my kitchen. I've been collecting Pampered Chef since 1997. So I have a lot of stuff of Pampered Chef because I love it. It's good quality. If you're a good cook and you like to cook and you enjoy and you like to have good utensils, then check it out. Now sometimes you can find something. My sister just told me she needed an apple wedger. You know that thing that you cut apples with? She said, I bought 2 at Walmart and they both broke. So she wanted me to get her one. Well, they're on back order right now, so I guess everybody wants them. The knives right now, the knife block, somebody else won the knife block. It's on back order. Some of the pots and pans, the Signature series, which is the series I use, the ones with the removable handles, some of them are on back order. So you got to get your stuff while you can. And like I said, everybody likes that Pampered Chef air fryer. It's on sale for January. Why do I call my husband Big Tony? Well, when I stand next to him, y'all, he's like 6 foot tall. I'm 5'3". So he's big to me. He used to weigh 315 pounds at his heaviest. So when I met him, he just towered over me. He still's a whole lot taller than me. So I just call him Big Tony, Big Daddy. Some people call him Big T. He was just a very large man. So he has lost a lot of weight. He's lost about probably close to 90, 100 pounds. So he's not as big anymore, but he's still tall to me. So I just call him Big Tony or whatever, Big Daddy. Sometimes I used to call him Cat Daddy because he's got cats and we live in Catlet. So I used to call him Catlet Cat Daddy. That's what I have him in my phone as. In my phone, he's Catlet Cat Daddy. All right, we got 6 minutes on this. Whoa, 6 minutes, they're done, y'all. Let me get that timer. I should have done turned them around and put some butter on them. Let me see what they're doing here. I'm gonna turn them around and just melt a little butter. I'm just gonna get a little butter out here and melt them just up in the microwave while I'm talking here. I love this silicone brush. I like all the silicone stuff that Pampered Chef makes. This is on back order too, y'all. All the good tools right now seem to be on back order. But we're going to put them in here. Now that was 6 minutes, probably 7 to 8 minutes is all it's going to take on those biscuits. We got our butter melted. Them things are ready to come out. Let me just grab these biscuits. I'm going to set them right here on this trivet. I'm going to leave them in just another minute. Maybe I ought to move them down. I think I got them. We'll leave them in just another minute. Didn't look like the inside was quite done. All right, I'm going to fill my jar up with water here. And we're going to get going on some gravy now. I'm just going to use all-purpose flour. When you make gravy, it doesn't matter what kind of flour you use, all-purpose, self-rising, it doesn't matter for gravy. I got the all-purpose sitting here, so we're going to use that for our gravy. This is another item I use a lot. This is called a sauce whisk. It's silicone, so it will not scratch your pans. And see, it can move around and all that, and it's made out of silicone, won't scratch anything. It's called a sauce whisk, and I love it. It makes your gravies real smooth if you make gravy. This is great. A lot of people just use a spoon when you make gravy, but I've always used a whisk. This biscuit recipe, I have 2 different biscuit recipes in my cookbook. This one is not in there, I don't think, because this is just basically the mix and buttermilk. There's no recipe to it, and the recipe's on the bag. So let me see here what we're going to do. I'm going to get some bacon grease. I'm going to start some bacon grease here. Well, let me see. I don't want to use it. Well, actually I can. I can just use this that I have the butter with. I'm just going to grab some of this bacon grease from my bacon yesterday and about 2 or 3 tablespoons and plop it over there. I'm going to let that start melting a little bit. Let's see if our biscuits are done. I don't want to burn them. They're looking real done right now. Yep, they are done. Let me turn this oven off. And now what I do is just take and brush the tops with butter. That hides any of the flour that you got on there. Now I cooked these. I should have cooked them on the bottom rack probably because the tops got really brown. Some people like them brown like this. So we're going to put this butter on them and Make them all shiny on top. And I need to make a reel of that. Put me a reel out there. But I got my camera in use. Alright, so let me show y'all these real quick. I like to show them up where the comments are because, see, they're a little bit done on top, but they're good and brown. A lot of people like them like that. A lot of people do like them real brown like that. Alright, I'm going to set these on the back of the stove. And we're going to get working on our gravy. I'm going to turn the heat up here. We got about 2 or 3 tablespoons of bacon grease in here.
You ain't made the gravy yet?
No, it's coming right now.
Make a lot of cream sop.
Cream sop.
Yeah, cream sop.
All right, I'm going to put some flour, y'all. I'm just going to put a couple heaping tablespoons.
Yeah.
Like 2 heaping tablespoons in here.
I'll wash my hands. You want me to help?
What are you going to help do?
I'll fix me a drink.
Well, that's good.
You want some?
No, I got
Mountain Dew.
I got a drink here already.
Do.
All right, we're going to start mixing this up. Let me see if I can get you over here so you can kind of watch this. Now, as you mix it, if it's too thick, we're going to have to put more bacon grease in there. And that is too thick. So I'm going to grab my knife here. Put some more bacon grease in it. And just start mixing this up. And you want to get it, you want to brown it a little bit and see how it mixes up good with that sauce whisk. Alright, let me get me a can of milk. Tony likes me to use canned milk. I grew up just using milk right out of the refrigerator. He likes this canned milk. So what I do is you got to dilute. If you use canned milk, you got to dilute it with water. So I got some water here in my big old mason jar. And I'm going to go ahead and pour that milk right in with that water and make my mixture up. Depending on how much you might want to make. That's how much milk you add. Or how much liquid you add. Whoa, I'm done burning this up, y'all. Look at that. Me talking. Well, it just gets real brown. Let me get that off of there. It's just going to be browner gravy. All right, that's a good mixture. I'm going to go ahead and start pouring this in. All right. And you just start stirring it up. I'm going to pour all this in. If it's too thick, you add more liquid. Water, milk, whatever you got. I just dump mine in and start stirring it. Now this ain't going to make a whole lot of gravy, but it's going to make enough for us. If I had more people coming, I would add more milk to it. And then you don't want to forget your salt and pepper. While it's cooking up like that, I'm going to go ahead and salt it. We like a lot of pepper on ours. Put that on it. Then you just keep stirring it. It's not hard. It's no, you ain't got to have, somebody said you can use like 2 tablespoons of flour, 2 tablespoons of grease. and 2 cups of liquid. That might give you a starting point if you want an exact measurement of how you gotta do. And you take it off the heat, if it thickens up too much, add a little bit of milk or water to it to thin it back out. You want it to be able to pour over your biscuits. So that is looking real good. That's on high. I cook it on high till I get it to about the consistency I want. And if it looks a little thin, that's okay, because when it sits, it is going to thicken up, believe you me. So I like to keep mine over here on the stove, and when we're ready to eat, if it's too thick, I'll just add a little water and milk and stir it up a little bit, and we'll be good to go. Now all I got to do is fry him up some eggs, but he just got a phone call, so he's out of here. So I'm just going to put that on low and let that sit there for a minute. All right, let's see. Yeah, I do drink Diet Mountain Dew. I've kind of gotten away from it since I've been on Ozempic. I've been on Ozempic 2 months. Today is the day I'm supposed to take it, and I'm out, and the pharmacy does not have any, so I'm waiting to hear back from the pharmacy if I'm going to be able to get it. Usually it's about equal fat and flour for gravy. It's no rhyme or reason. It usually always turns out anyways, y'all. It don't got to be exact. But that's what I kind of use. Yeah, it's going to thicken up here now as I turn the fire off. It will thicken. And I'm gonna scoot that off the fire. I don't want that thing to keep on cooking. But that's our biscuits and gravy, and I'll just cook him some eggs when he gets back in here. But I won't keep y'all on here all that time. If you got any more questions, post them now real quick, and I'll try to answer them. Other than that, we're gonna be ready to eat. I'm going to walk back here. I got to take my pill. I forgot. 30 minutes before I eat, I'm supposed to take a glipizide. That's my diabetes medicine. So, I got to get back here and get me a glipizide tablet. And then I got to wait 30 minutes before I can eat. And sometimes I try to time it. But most of the time, I don't time it that good. So, I'm going to... set y'all down right there for once. Well, maybe I'm going to set you down. Trying to set you on the bed there. I got to get my glipizide out of here. I do not put sausage in my gravy. We like to eat ours separate. I know a lot of people add it to the gravy, but I guess my thinking growing up was once you add it to your gravy, if all your gravy don't get eat, then you throw that expensive meat out the door. So, if there's no problem and you're going to eat it all, but Tony likes his separate, so I just keep it separate, and then we have sausage, and he likes to eat it all on the plate together, but he don't really care for the chunks of sausage. He doesn't care one way or the other, so I just keep it separate. Will you show your camera setup? I just have this little tiny tripod, y'all. I don't even know where a mirror is. Let me go to the bathroom. If you're just watching, if you're just signing on and you're not familiar with us, I'm getting a tooth implant done. Whoops. And so that's why I got a tooth missing. I'm in the process of getting that done. So let me see if I can turn this mirror around. All right, here's my little setup, y'all. I just have this little tripod, and I hook my phone right to it, and that way I can pick this tripod up, and I can take it all around my kitchen and show you what I'm doing. It's easy to move over to the stove when I need to, so that's what I do. Very easy. That's all the equipment I have, y'all. This ain't nothing sophisticated. Just a little tiny tripod. And I just clip the phone right to it. We did not see Trevor and Tiana last night. We watched that ball game for 3 hours, y'all, and they never showed the audience. One time they showed one person in the audience, and that was it. That was ridiculous. But anyhow, I'm going to jump off here. I think Tony's about off the phone. I'm just going to make his eggs for him. And, yeah, my doctor said it was okay to take the glipizide with the Ozempic, but he gave me a much lower dose. I'm only taking 1/4 of what I was. So we're going to go with that and see how that works. All right, we will take y'all. We will. Somebody wrote the word take, and I read that. The big phone stand share that you sent me, that's what I do fireside with. That stays over here. Let me show y'all. I'll just show you that too. When I do fireside at night, I sit in this chair. And my nose is itching now, y'all. This is my setup where I do fireside. I sit in this chair and see I got my papers there. I just showed y'all that. There's my Bible, my songbook, my other songbook, my pillows for my back. And here's the stand. Now, Cher sent me that stand. It is wonderful. I keep that right there beside my fireside chair. And I appreciate that so much. That stand is wonderful because I'm sitting there and I can angle it to the fireplace and all that. So, that's why I got 2 different stands. This little one works best in the kitchen because I can pick it up, move it to the stove, to the counter, wherever. The fireside one works great. I love that stand. And she sent me that. So let me take this pill while I'm still talking to y'all. So I'll be able to eat in a little while. Yeah, Cher sent me that because, y'all, when I used to do fireside, I sat on the floor. And I had this little tiny tripod. And I set the tripod on the coffee table and I would sit on the floor and it was killing my back. And Cher found that nice one. And that is a really nice stand that she sent me. So that's all set up I got, y'all. This is kind of a low budget one-man band thing. Oh, now I'm going to sit right here. I'm sitting at the kitchen table now, y'all. Whew, I'm already tired. I did see that the crock pot is back in stock for Pampered Chef, y'all, because I showed you that crock pot stand last year and it was discontinued. So, and I said if they discontinued that because it's a great product, then they are going to come out with something newer and better. Well, it just came out. It's the stand for your crock pot, and it uses the black rock crock. I can show y'all my old one. Let me show you this old one here. The new one is similar, but better. But it uses, there's like a 5-quart rock crock, and you can use it with either crock. Let me just turn this around. It's on the counter. Got my Christmas still there, but this is the rock crock right here. This is the large one, and it moves out. See, you can lift that up and move it out. This is the base. This is what they redesigned. It's all electronic now. That's what just come out. It's $99 for this base. If you already have this, that's good. Or they're selling it as a special, a 2-piece thing. This rock crock, y'all, you can cook on top of the stove. The one reason I like it is if I do chili, you can do that chili on top of your stove. You can brown your hamburger and everything in that same pot. Cook your whole chili, add all your stuff after you brown your hamburger. Cook it all, and then I like to move my chili. Once I got it cooked on top of the stove, I like to move it over to a slow cooker. So you can just pick that pot up, move it over to your slow cooker. Then at the end of the day, if you want to take that same pot, you just move it right to your refrigerator once it cools down. And I think right now for both pieces, it's on sale, I want to say around $215 for the set. And you can also buy the smaller pot, but I like the bigger pot. Hey, Danny Duncan, we're having biscuits, gravy, sausage, and eggs. That's basically our typical big breakfast that we have if I'm off work or on Saturdays. Yeah, the Spurtle spoon. One of y'all sent me all those Spurtles. They are not from Pampered Chef. They, couple people sent me some wooden Spurtles. They sent me some of these black Spurtles. They are very strong, so you can stir up biscuit mix with them. Here comes one of Tony's friends in the driveway now. Whoops, I'm drinking his Mountain Dew, y'all. I just picked up a cup off the table and started drinking it. So anyhow, I am hosting a Pampered Chef party. That's what that link goes to. I do earn products. If y'all buy anything off of that link, I do earn free products or discounted products, like you're having a Pampered Chef party. So I do host a party with that link. So go check it out if you need anything. If you don't need anything, don't worry about it. I do not need I don't need to get on here and ask y'all to order from my party. There's a lot of people on here who are as addicted to Pampered Chef as I am. So don't feel bad if you don't want the stuff or don't want to order it. Today is going to be beautiful. We will try to take a walk today, y'all. I think that's good. We can get out and just walk around through the woods and have y'all join me. It's a chance where I can read the comments. It's hard to read all the comments when I'm cooking. So, that's that. And every night at 8 o'clock we get on for a little fireside chat. That's another time where I can sit down and just talk to you. And that's we call it our fireside family. And I do got to take that man back, that cat carrier. So we might go over there and see what's going on. Take that cat carrier back. These gingerbread pajama pants that I got on, I bought them at a craft show. And that lady was not at the craft show this year, so I don't know where she's at. So we'll walk and get the eggs, see the chickens later on. I'm going to try to get this kitchen put together for me to go back to work tomorrow. I might even clean the refrigerator out. I don't know, y'all. There's always so much to do. Can you use the liners in the crock pot? I assume you can because it's just like any other crock pot. I didn't use a liner when I used it because the rock crocks clean up real easily. So I didn't use a liner on mine. So I guess you probably could, but I haven't on these. It's kind of a smaller crock pot. It's round. It's not the big oval kind like those liners fit. So, somebody'd have to try that to see. But anyhow, check out the link only if you need anything. No pressure to buy anything. Yeah, I could take y'all when I go to take Harley's cage back, but we'll have to see. I don't want to roll up on somebody with a camera going. They're going to be like, what's she doing? Maybe I'll just leave it on the dash of the car and you can see me take it up to the house or something. Or I'll just act like I'm holding the camera. Just act like I'm holding my phone and just talk to the people. I don't know. But, all right. So, yeah, I've been trying to get, I only have about 3 or 4 cookies left, y'all. I've give everything away. We're purging everything out of here, too. So I'm going to go eat this breakfast now and get Tony in here. Yeah, I always go look at the link to say what's new at Pampered Chef. I thought they would have a real good, a lot of times January they have a real good special, which the air fryer is on special and so is that mandolin. I think the mandolin's regular $70-some. It's on sale for $59 and that thing is very nice. All right, there's Tony's friend backing out of the driveway, so he'll be right on in here. I better get his eggs going, y'all. Oh, I hear the door. Okay, We're going to talk to y'all later. Let me get this man fed. Goodbye, everybody.